ಹಾಯ್ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಟೆಕ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅವ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಸ್ ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಕಾಮತ್.
Hi Priyanka, welcome to the session. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Shweta.
Okay, so can you give me a quick introduction about yourself so that our audience will be familiar with you?
Absolutely. So, hello everyone. Ellargu namaskara. I am Priyanka Kamath. Nenu, um, you will see that I speak a lot of Telugu, so I got Nenu, but it's Nanu Agumbedalli huttidini. But ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು ಹೈದರಾಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ತೆಲುಗು ज़्यादा ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So please excuse me for that, and I'll continue in English. So yeah, I'm Priyanka. I'm the founder of 100 Giga. We are because generative AI, and we are here to build skill equity for India. By that I mean we are bringing emerging technologies to the nook and corner of India with the mission of learn AI with AI. So before that, I've been in various corporate roles. It's been 12 years of corporate life where I started in India and then went on to work in multiple gigs in America for 7 years. So I've started with Novartis Pharmaceuticals, New Jersey, where we're building like these portal development solutions for clinical trials as scientists who would build these incredible workflows for understanding how to come up with chemical formulas. So very nuanced data work, and then I moved on to World Bank, where I was building portal databases for strategic officers to deploy money into developing countries. Further, I moved on to PepsiCo, which was really my breakthrough moment because it felt like you were doing everything in you were doing everything which MBA grad would do, like everything from product to like running cybersecurity countries. And I think once I got PepsiCo experience within these different realms, I somehow knew I would entrepreneur. I know this is a little long introduction, but it's just 12 years that I have to encompass. So I was always attached to the education space with the work that I was doing in Hyderabad. So with the students that I worked here, we were like, building websites. They were marginalized children trying to get like financial security. So we're like, hey, love, why not just start with websites, and you can even earn up to, like, back in the day it was like you could earn up to like 10,000 to 15,000 per website, so they would lead a life of dignity. And that's where I've always felt that technology was the way to come out of these kind of problems where you are immediately put into a high paying job. So that's where the idea struck, and now we are bringing AI and ML to the nook and corners of India.
Okay, that's amazing. That's actually a lot of things you have listed. It's from website to AI. There's everything you have worked on. So it's really broad. And I think you mentioned about blockchain as well, right? Okay, so can you make us a little familiar about blockchain, maybe an example of where it's being used today and in a very simple terms so that everybody can understand.
Absolutely. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. So 100 Giga actually started as 100 Girls in Blockchain in 2021. And our first, skilling cohort was actually with one of the state government-led women incubators. We were teaching blockchain to 16-year-olds, which is, in fact, even more younger. I would say 12 to 16. So if we could teach them, I could definitely, let you know what is blockchain in simple terms. So you can think of blockchain just like a database only, but it's a digital ledger where you don't have a central authority. You have data coming and passing through different nodes. So just take an example of Microsoft Word and Google Cloud, right? Like Google Doc. Uh, you technically can go collaborate on Google Sheets while you are working. So it's technically as simple as that. But when you come to a very nuanced angle, you can treat it like a immutable, hacker-proof tracking mechanism where you can optimize the entire supply chain. That is, if a farmer is harvesting mangoes in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, and sending it to the supermarket, that entire supply chain actually can be put on blockchain, and you can see which entity is contributing how much, who is exploiting as a middleman to the farmer, and ensure that the middleman can be eliminated and the profitability goes back from the supermarket to the farmer itself. So this one food as a touch point, I think, is relatable to everyone. So all I can say is you treat blockchain as a digital ledger. Of course, there's various use cases like DeFi, tokenization of real world assets, but that's still very much in the future to come. Just want to conclude with one point that when I say DeFi, it's the biggest case, but there is so much to blockchain. But good thing is in India, Reserve Bank of India itself has launched a CBDC, central bank digital currency, which is based out of which is based on blockchain concept. So we will future, we will definitely see this in the future. All of us using CBDCs from HDFC, ICICI, and whatnot. Thanks.
Oh, okay, amazing. So I can see Gen AI in your background. So I want to ask a question on AI now. So how important and dependent are we on AI today?
Great question, actually. I would definitely want to say that AI has to be a mindset first. You have to build that mindset. Please don't have a fear that AI is going to take our job, or it's just eliminating so many jobs. The way to change that narrative and look at it is AI is taking the redundant tasks out of our jobs, and we are able to do much more better stuff. You're using your brain in an augmented manner. So now it's no longer one brain you're using, but you have AI augmented brain now. How cool is that, right? Like you feel like a Iron Man or like a superhero. So always think in that way, and think that it is a tool for task efficiency, how you reduce cost, how you can actually build a one person business, because with the AI tech stack we have right now, you don't need like heavy operations team or a heavy marketing team. You're actually able to do with certain tools that can just automate the process for you and help you reach that efficiency and goals that you've always targeted as a business or as an individual trying to accomplish tasks. So all I want to say is build that AI first mindset from the time you get up in the morning. Use it to use it to see how you can go to various tasks with that. How maybe you're crunching numbers, you use numerous.ai to do your 3 hours work in 15 minutes. Maybe you're a marketing enthusiast, and your one LinkedIn post can go in as a Twitter thread, it can go in as an Instagram push, one click of a button through Zapier. And again, if you are operations, like you have that was through Jasper. Zapier can actually do your entire operations also, and you have like agents that you can build and automate. So in the future you will be seeing hopefully AI Priyanka avatar that will be doing the podcast, so I can be at two places at once.
Correct, correct. So what are the challenges we face when it comes to AI? Because right now we all use AI almost every day. So as you mentioned, it is growing rapidly. So what are the challenges right now we are facing when it comes to AI?
Yeah, Shweta, that's a very valid question. Challenges with AI, this is definitely one big thing that um, we are living in times where it's so advanced at the point that you cannot distinguish between a deepfake AI or the real person. And the technology is as good as it gets in the hands of the person, right? So if there is a bad actor, they would take this technology and use it to we are still seeing these scenarios where in recently US elections also, because Taylor Swift is so popular among the teens and they are the majority coming into voting now. Taylor Swift deepfake was used to actually incline to one party, whereas Taylor Swift actually herself was inclined to other party. So all these can be done and can be circulated, and that person won't even know. Combating those deepfakes is, going to be the biggest challenge going forward. Also, the information overload that we are seeing right now in every possible channel. You don't know the sources where you can verify this. What if an AI, when we reach artificial general intelligence, which is AGI, which is the closest we'll get to AI taking over the technology, we wouldn't even able to know that checks and balances where this AGI has taken some sensitive information, say financials of a company, and just put it out there in the internet. So that is a scary thought to have. But of course, as much as AI is advancing, even cybersecurity is advancing. So we have different mechanisms in place to combat AI deepfakes and other AGI related threats.
Okay. So learning AI tools, will it lead us to a high-paying job, or do we have to know the technical skills as well?
Absolutely good question for today's day and age where it's becoming extremely competitive with the lack of jobs and rise of AI. So I would say, definitely people get paid for deep expertise. So always be technical if you are getting into the AI field. Especially if you're a fresher out of college, you definitely need those technical skills to safeguard at least the first 5 years of your early work experience. Tools, yes, great. It's a added bonus. It's like a cherry on the top, which will help you do your work better. But building an LLM, building a general AI application, now we are seeing the rise of small language models coming. Before this was like large language models where we completely saw, ChatGPT is built on an LLM. We're seeing a very own Sarvam AI in India coming with vernacular language models where you are able to take any application on that application layer, integrate one API call, and you can get that application in 22 languages and 1600 dialects. How cool is that, right? So you should be having that technical expertise at least to do these kind of API integrations. Learning tools will be the first stage of it, like I would say, so that you don't get intimidated by AI, and you understand the nitty-gritties of how these automations work. Some of the tools I would definitely suggest is if you're starting off, right? Gamma is great if you are like doing these high tech presentations in a business way, where you as a fresher is sitting with the team lead and you have to present what your team has done. So Gamma will do it in like 5 minutes if you give a prompt. Again, Perplexity is like my right hand Perplexity research tool. You can just give like a formula, and it'll tell you exactly what was the, statistical algorithm behind that formula and how to actually dissect a complex problem, that Perplexity. And again, these days we're making tools where you can actually take the screenshot of an image and see what is the code behind it, right? So how is one coded? So you get the source code also. So we are living in very, very interesting times, but take tools as the first step and then fully move into technical. Yeah.
So, what do you want to advise all the freshers who want to consider a career in AI?
Career in AI. Absolutely. Like I was saying in the starting also, right? Building that AI first mindset is really important. So, you know, try to interact with AI as much as you can because it opens more ways of, innovative thinking for you. That way you could see where all areas are still not having AI, and you build your own projects, and that could say lead to more opportunities for you. Say for example, right, Netflix is almost like a recommendation engine which personalizes based on the user persona. So while that's great, do we really need Netflix? Maybe not. It's just an entertainment tool. You definitely need a personal assistant for your finances on a daily basis. So why not just automate your daily finances and see, hey, where are your savings, expenditure? How can you probably automate your savings into certain account that can invest in stocks, right? So say instead of doing like a $25, so 25 rupees, recharge, you actually invest that in HDFC, stocks, like, penny stocks and ETFs. So those are the things that you can automate. And I think anybody as a student should be able to take any use case and automate that through AI. It will stand as a experiential learning project on your resume. And in fact, that's what we teach in Hypergeek as well. In our 3 month boot camp, we have 1 month foundation, and 2 months we are only building projects as a team. So we have in like a team lead, we have a CDO, CPO, and a chief AI who is leading the product. So we almost make it look like they are working in a startup. They have that exposure.
I think we have learned a lot about AI and also everything about tech today. So I just wanted a small signing off note for all the audience and all the tech enthusiasts in our channel too.
Yes, I would definitely, if I want to say, Shweta and her company, MicroDegree, are firstly doing a great job in bringing vernacular languages. So, it's trainings in vernacular languages are going to be the next trend. So definitely, it makes it more inclusive because India, we are divided by states, but we are now united by technology, thanks to these kind of integrations. So what I would like to say is, definitely try to keep experimenting, do as many projects on your own. Don't wait for this opportunity like, oh, third year I will do internship, and then I will start the startup idea, try to see where it goes, and then fourth year the job. That is the safe route that everyone takes, but definitely would recommend that if you've taken a startup idea, maybe like you can start as early as first year itself. Try to do different variations so that if it works, it works, and you're able to get $1 million exit. Otherwise, you can still go on your internship path and get that full-time offer. But why I keep saying is experiment with startups right at your college, because your e-cell connected to college will give you the capital. Government of India is doling out funds, resources, knowledge, network, capital, everything for you as a student. I wish 12 years back somebody told me, I would have definitely had that exposure and kind of, lot of my started back then. So use your, time and energy in the first 2, 3 years of your college to build something of your own, and that will always help you go a long way, be it in the workforce or be it when you launch your own startup. I definitely say venture forward with your own venture.
Thank you so much for giving your time to us. It was lovely talking to you, and I know all our audience have great idea about AI, blockchain, and whatever you've mentioned today.
Amazing, Shweta. Thank you so much for having me, and always a pleasure to chat with Micro Degree, learn about your work, and just incredibly proud of everything that Micro Degree is doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank